A counselor's journey to private practice. Whether you are going 0 to 50K, you're going 100K, you are going from solo to group practice, you're adding passive income, multiple streams of income. It's a journey. I love to hike, and it's why I named this business here, if you will, a counselor's journey to private practice. Because to me, it's like we're hiking through trails and we're trying to figure out where to go, not get lost, learn as we go, and build a relationship. I love meeting random hikers and saying, "Hey, how's it going? What are you up to? Which way are you going?" You get to just build relationships and get to know people, which is just like this. Whether I work with you in consulting or you dive into the podcast at a counselor's journey or the YouTube channel, I love building these relationships with you. I do. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go into supporting you with your multiple stream of income and getting it from A to B. Now, this is somewhat of an introductory conversation. If you want to go deeper, visit a counselor's journey website and check out the courses. They are just black and white, getting you from A to B, addressing the question that you have, the concern that you're struggling with, and then allowing you to feel more confident in your journey of private practice. I think you're going to love it. Now, with multiple streams of income, off the back, I think that clinicians out there, I think you are able to add just about anything you want into your counseling practice, as long as you tap into ambition, as long as you tap into curiosity. Be curious about what you're doing. Be ambitious, each and every day. That's going to let you to get from A to B. So let's just say you're a hypothetical person out there and you're a relationship counselor. Something you could do right away is leverage everything you're doing in your practice into different products. It could be that you make a book, you can make a journal, you can make a workbook, you can make a mini course, you can make a walkthrough course that walks through people while they do a workbook. And that's already 5 different things, right, I've named. And each of those serve the person that you're working with in a beautiful way. Sometimes realistically in a very similar way as they would when they work one-on-one with you, because what you're doing is you're grabbing that content that takes place in a session, then you're putting it into a course. Because, let's just face it, sometimes people are running, 100 miles per hour, or they don't have the financial means, or they don't have the time, or maybe they just don't want to, which is completely cool. It's all right to sit into a counseling session. I love to read books, love reading books. And if it's reading a book or meeting the author and asking them the same questions, I think for me, I prefer reading the book. But for some people, they may go and meet the author. And it's no different than, counseling. If somebody wants to go into a counseling session, I think they can go in there and get a beautiful experience. But there are so many just phenomenal self-help books out there that are just, rated really, really high. And they get people from A to B. And there's tons of reviews that show that they made a pivotal change. So it's just something to think about there. And I think that goes a long way as long as you allow that to kind of nurture maybe some of those thoughts of insecurity. So once you come up with the idea of what product you want to create, one of the really simple processes I like to engage in is just tossing content. So what I would do is if I'm in a consulting session with you, I would ask you, I said, okay, now that you're going to make this workbook to help a couple, what specifically is the end result of the workbook? Like, what's this end result of your session? And then you could be like, well, couples coming in and they argue, but they love each other. It's just they struggle with biting their tongue. They struggle with utilizing nice words. I said, okay, let's put that into the workbook. Let's put exercises into the shift language that go from what are you saying versus what do you want to say, right? Like I feel really pissed off at you. Well, let's transition that in an exercise in the workbook to what does pissed off really mean? Well, it means I feel alone. I feel that you're not here for me, right? Or fill in the blank. So now you have this workbook. It's creative. It allows a person to do something very similar to what they would do in the session with you. You could put those nudge-like questions that you would utilize in a session into the workbook. And then once you do that, based off of that target audience, right, that couple that will come in, you start getting content. You start getting the meat of your workbook, right? So it's product that you're creating. We don't have to worry about how many pages right now. None of that we have to worry about. We just really want to focus on what are some of the core items that you would include in a counseling session that will get somebody from A to B. And B could be that they just feel comfortable enough to manage a relationship, or they feel comfortable enough to go into a counseling session and take it to the next level. But overall, just some sort of transformation. We really want a transformation there. because that adds weight to what you're doing. No different than why a patient will want to work with you. They're looking for a transformation, whether it's from self-esteem or to finding purpose in life, or in this case, to healing their relationship. After you've done that, you do want to make sure that certain boxes are checked off: audio quality, video quality, grammar, punctuation, font, consistency. You want to make sure that if you look at it, it looks neat, it looks organized, it looks pretty. You may even want to get that product and give it to different people and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Just let people try it out and get their honest opinion and make adjustments. So far what you're doing is you're playing around with your toy. You're trying to figure out what's this toy like in the hands of other people, and do they see it in the same way that I see it? And you're going to get some good feedback. Some people may say it's awesome. Some people may say, listen, on page 2, you got a 12-point font, Times New Roman. On page 14, they jumped to a 20. You may want to check that out. Beautiful feedback. You can make an adjustment. So then from that point, let's kind of take a break here. I want to share with you, I'm doing a Cliff Notes. If we were engaged in consulting, such an interesting word to me. Maybe it's like the Spanish and me being born and raised in the Dominican Republic. There's certain words I'll throw out there and I'm like, that's a funny word. But it's probably not funny to most people. That's just my genuine, authentic me here. Or if you visit a counselor's journey, there's courses on there that I offer so that you're able to take a deep dive and get exactly what you need from them. So going back, once you have some people check it out, right? Make sure that it looks good, or to give you feedback, make adjustments. Then you go into a funnel, and funnel is going to be like your marketing process. And really what you want to do is you want to think about like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 core areas. And that could be a lot for some, so you may want to stick to 1 or 2. But if it's not, think about maybe 3 to 5 core areas, places, locations that you're going to be sharing that information. And then you want to share it consistently in many amounts, so that you build an audience, you give value, and then it funnels towards the product of the workbook. An example of that would be exactly what I'm doing here, right? I am sharing with you, and I'm doing it to the best of my ability. I'm sharing with you information, content. I want you to do well. I want you to grow and to get better and to achieve all the goals that you want to achieve. And maybe some of you are like, you know what? I'd like to work with Juan one-on-one. It's kind of funny, Juan one-on-one. I like to work with him, and that's beautiful, and then we can get that going. So it's the same thing that you would do on your end, and I'm sharing it here so you kind of get an idea of what it looks like. And you could spin it in any way that you want with your touch of ambition, your touch of curiosity. This is what's comfortable for me. And if I'm going to wake up every day, then I'm going to try and do things that make me feel comfortable and make me feel that it connects to me in my core, at my core, or in my core. So from there, once you have these funnels, you want to do them consistently while looking at adjustments. So if you notice that, in a couple of months, your Facebook lives that you're doing, it's not really producing, maybe shift things a little bit, maybe add a little more time to it, change the content, play with the links. And then as you do that, you'll start to see growth. The other direction you could take is you can use your product as a free product to build an audience. An example of that is what local gyms do, at least in my area. A lot of them will do like trials, like come in for 7 days, see what you think, no charge. So you go in there and you use the gym for like 7 days. You bench press, you do some jumping jacks, all sorts of things. And then after 7 days, all for free. If it works, you pay and you keep going. And you see these things online all the time. Subscribe and get your first 7 or 14 days for free. It's the same exact thing. So one thing that I do, and I'll share it with you, is I have this journal. And it's a really simple journal, and I made it years back. And it came to me through a client. And as many times as I offer journal activities, they were like, why don't we just compile these? So I did that. I got a lot of the prompts that I would normally give patients that I work with, and I put them all into one category, into that journal. So now when I work with different individuals, if it's pertinent and I see that it's useful there, I'll say, hey, here's a journal. And there's no cost to them. But what it does from that entrepreneur side is that it could lead to some sort of market growth. They could share it with other people, another one that they could purchase, and so forth. So you have growth there. No different than you trying out the gym for 7 days, and if it's good, you purchase a membership and go forward. It also gives me a peace of mind, if you will, because I love to serve, and if I can give everything out for free, then I would. But there are bills to pay, and my 6-year-old gets hungry, and my 4-year-old get hungry, and I have all the goals in life. I want to travel, I want to see the world, I want to help people and donate to nonprofits, and those things take money, right? And I have to be able to bring money in to give money back. So there's that balance there that we want to think about too. So again, this is the Cliff Notes version of, adding a multiple stream of income, which is just another source of income, whether it's a product or a course, whatever it may be for you, and then allowing it to grow over time. Any questions that you may have, feel free to reach out to me. Visit acounselorsjourney.com. It's obviously it's my website. I'm not sure why I was going to say it like that. That's kind of funny. And I love to connect with you. If you're looking for consulting in this area, I'd love to work with you. I really like to tap into that curiosity part of just looking for all these unique ways to highlight who we are behind that closed door when we're engaging in counseling, and then what that can create. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing space with me.